Good morning. It is Motivational Monday, and something has been with me for quite a while, but I couldn't put it on paper. I couldn't find the words, and I picked up a book and I'm reading through it. And what's been on my mind, this author covered in a chapter, and so I'm going to give credit where credit is due. And today is going to be story time. I'm going to read her brilliant words to you this morning. So I have been health coaching men as well as women, and if women can be conditioned, so can men. If women have shadows from their childhood, so do men. But with men, they don't get into their feelings as much as women do, and I really want to empower that. Now, I am a girl mom. I raised 2 girls, but my twin sister raised 4 boys. So being a twin, our 6 kids are more like siblings than cousins. So I do have some references to being around a house full of boys. So for you boy moms out there, this is a great discussion piece for you and your family. So men assume roles of provider, protector, martyr, but could they lay down their sword? Men, could you allow yourself to be held, supported, understood? I think you have the same needs that women do on an emotional level. We are conditioned that real men are big, bold, violent, invulnerable, responsible for conquering women in the world. That's just like the general assumption that the world has put on men. And for women, small, quiet, pretty, accommodating, pleasant. Well, you know what? Both men and women can be everything. Loud, quiet, bold, smart, creative, ravenous. Both men and women should take up space with their ideas, their feelings, with their body. So that's kind of me rattling on, trying to sort this out, this whole men versus women, this whole boys versus girl. So I've been working through that, and then I'm reading this book called Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And it just, I tabbed it out. Look at my sticky notes. So every chapter that I've gone through, there's just this aha moment that I just keep, whoa. Well, I got to this chapter called Boys, and it summed up what I was thinking about, what I was trying to dissect. So I'm going to give credit to Glennon Doyle and her chapter on boys, and we are going to have a little story time this morning. So thank you for being here and your patience. All right, so she starts with, 5 years ago, I was cleaning up the kitchen while CNN droned on. I walked over to flip the channel, but then I noticed a particular and disturbing pattern in the reporting. The first story was about several white male government officials who had been caught lying and cheating to keep their power. The second story included footage of a police officer brutally beating an unarmed black teenager. Then these stories. Morning, Becky. Morning, Terry. Okay, a 15-year-old school shooter who killed 3 classmates, one of whom was a girl who had rejected his advances. Members of a lacrosse team had been charged with gang rape. A college boy had been killed in a hazing incident. A middle school gay boy had hung himself because of bullying at school. A 35-year-old decorated veteran had just succumbed to PTSD. I shared, open-mouthed at the TV, and thought, oh my God, this is what it looks like for boys to try to comply with our culture's directions. They are not allowed to be whole either. Boys are in cages too. Boys who believe that real men are all-powerful will cheat and lie and steal to claim and keep their power. Boys who believe that girls exist to validate them will take a woman's rejection as a personal affront to their masculinity. Boys who believe that open, vulnerable connection between men is shameful will violently hate gay boys. Boys who believe that men don't cry will become men who rage. Boys who learn that pain is weakness will die before they ask for help. Being an American boy is a setup. We train boys to believe that the way to become a man is to objectify and conquer women, value wealth and power above all, and suppress any emotions other than competitiveness and rage. Then we are stunned when our boys become exactly what we have trained them to be. Our boys cannot follow our directions, but they are cheating and dying and killing as they try to. Everything that makes a boy human is a real man's dirty secret. Our men are caged too. The parts of themselves they must hide to fit into those cages are the slices of their humanity that our culture has labeled feminine. Traits like mercy, tenderness, softness, quietness, kindness, humility, uncertainty, empathy, connection. We tell them, don't be these things because these are feminine things to be. Be anything but feminine. The problem is that the parts of themselves that our boys have been banished from are not feminine traits. They are human traits. There is no such thing as a feminine quality because there is no such thing as masculine or femininity. Femininity is just a set of human characteristics a culture pours into a bucket and slaps with the label feminine. Gender is not wild, it's prescribed. When we say girls are nurturing and boys are ambitious, girls are soft and boys are tough, girls are emotional and boys are stoic, we are not telling truths. We are sharing beliefs, beliefs that have become mandates. Thank you for the love. Good morning, Lucinda. If these statements seem true, it's because everyone has been so well programmed. Human qualities are not gendered. What is gendered is permission to express certain traits. Why? Why would our culture prescribe such strict gender roles? And why would it be so important for our culture to label all tenderness and mercy as feminine? I am speaking to your soul, Becky. I know this resonated with me. I know I'm a girl mom, but I have 4 nephews, well, more than 4 nephews, but Jody raised 4 boys, and I'm telling you, I want for boys what I have done my whole life, which is empowered women. I want that for these boys too. Because disallowing the expression of these qualities is the way the status quo keeps its power. In a culture as imbalanced as ours, in which a few hoard billions while others starve, in which wars are fought for oil, in which children are shot and killed while gun manufacturers and politicians collect the blood money, mercy, humanity, and vulnerability cannot be tolerated. Mercy and empathy are great threats to an unjust society. So how does power squash the expression of these traits? In a culture like this, all that is needed is to be labeled them feminine. Then we can forever discount them in women and forever shame them out of men. Ta-da! No more messy, world-changing tenderness to deal with. We can continue on without our shared humanity challenging the status quo in any way. I stood and stared at the TV. I thought back on how I had prepared my girls from day one to fight for their humanity. I thought, shoot, I have a son too. I do not recall rocking my son to sleep with stories about tender men. I do not remember pointing to men passing by. I bet he's a poet, a teacher, a devoted father. When an adult mentioned my son's sensitivity, I don't remember saying, isn't it great? His tenderness is his strength. When he started school, I do not recall saying, you can be quiet, sad, merciful, small, vulnerable, loving, and kind out there in the world. You can be unsure of yourself and still be a boy. I do not remember saying to him, girls are not for conquering. They do not exist to play supporting roles in the stories of men. They exist all on their own. I want my son to keep his humanity. I want him to stay whole. I do not want him to become sick. I want him to be shrewd. I do not want him to surrender to cages he must slowly die inside or kill his way out of. I do not want him to become another unconscious brick that power uses to build fortresses around itself. I want him to know the true story, which is that he is free to be fully human forever. Thank you for being so honest, Abby. You're right. Our culture is guilty as a whole, and it's like a default setting that we've been programmed with. We're conditioned that way, but it's the awareness. It's, picking up a book and this chapter just striking you and the awareness and what you will do about it next. Just a couple more paragraphs. If you can hang in there on a Monday morning, I think it's a big topic. Whether you're raising boys or you have a husband or any man in your life, to let them know that they don't have to be put in cages either. Again, I worked so hard to empower women, and with health coaching men, they are black and white. They're easy to get weight off of because they just do what I ask. However, emotions are at the bottom of all of it. Oh my goodness. Ready? Here we go. Our boys are just as human as our girls are. They need permission, opportunities, and safe places to share their humanity. Let's encourage real, vulnerable conversations among our sons and their friends. Let's talk about their feelings, relationships, hopes, and dreams so they don't become middle-aged men who feel permitted to only discuss sports, sex, news, and the weather. Let's help our boys become adults who don't have to carry life alone. Man, the burden on their shoulders. Perhaps part of a woman's freeing herself is freeing her partner, her father, her brother, and her son. When our men and boys cry, let's not say to them with our words or energy, "Don't cry, honey." Let's get comfortable allowing our men to gently and consistently express the pain of being human so that violent release isn't their go-to option. Let's embrace our strength so our men can take their turn being soft. Let us, men, women, and all those in between or beyond, reclaim our full humanity. So the lesson is, it's not feminine versus masculine. It's not boy versus girl. It's not woman versus man. It's collectively just allowing everyone to be human. What a simple message. What a simple message. So if you don't mind, I would really like to celebrate your boys, boy mom. So if you've got a boy in the comments, go ahead and drop me a photo. Let's celebrate boys today. I'm super excited about this. Thank you for tuning into this message. Any boy mom you know, share this. This information, this chapter was from Glennon Doyle in a great book called Untamed, which is really about getting women out of their cages. But I'm so grateful that she put a chapter in there on boys. It has been on my heart, and I couldn't find the words to express it. So this book, I just had to share that with you this morning on Monday Motivational. So thank you for being here. I'm just going to read through a few comments quick. Good for you, Melissa. Good for you. She said, I have a boy and a girl, and I try my best to raise them both exactly the same. Right. They're just both human. Tears, Becky. They have such a hard time asking for help. You bet. Exactly. And some amen and some love and some hearts. You guys are awesome. Have a great week. And thank you again for being here. And let's celebrate those boys.